What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Cannonballs podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Dane Cannon. Co-hosting with me today is
a food poisoned Jake Mother Evan Bowles on the mic 1-2. I am barely hanging in there, but you know what, guys? I love recording for you guys, and I love recording for you, Dane. Yeah, I'm here. So
yeah, Jake's sticking with it. You know, he's toughing it out. But guys, we haven't had an opportunity to talk to any of you guys since the holidays. So we hope that all of you guys who do listen to this podcast had a great holiday weekend. You know, got to spend it with your family. If you didn't, you know, hopefully you still had a good day, whether you celebrate or not, what holiday, whatever it may be. We hope you guys got to enjoy some football. And we're going to break it down for you guys. Today we're going to be discussing Week 16, only 2 weeks left after Week 16. So we'll recap it. We'll give our opinions and thoughts, reactions, all of the above on it. Some good games, some pretty boring games, not going to lie. But
honestly, Thursday through Saturday was like primo.
Pristine. Yeah, it was fun. Sunday
was ass. Like every game on – oh, no. Okay, never mind. The Packers Dolphins game was really good.
That was the first game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. And then the other two were just –
yeah.
And then Monday night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Duds. But, it was still a fun weekend.
It was definitely entertaining. But, guys, like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill. If you guys aren't already, follow us on our Instagram, Cannonballs with a Z _podcast. Now, Jake, I'll let you take the reins if you wanted to add anything.
All right. No, I'm just ready to get into the Week 16. Thursday night, we had the Jacksonville Jaguars beating the New York Jets pretty handily, too, 19-3. And I think
this Jets team is hot.
Yeah, honestly, the biggest takeaway for me is the Jags are good. They're actually, congrats, Jacksonville fans. You moved up in the first place in your division. Yep. We both picked this game, which is awesome. But, dude, the Jags dominated this team. The defense didn't even look good. And that's the strong point of this Jets team. But
I would refrain from saying they didn't look good, but they didn't look as good as they have, I would say. But I think a lot of that is contingent on the Jets offense just being abysmal.
Yeah, it's atrocious. I think maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit right now, but I think Zach Wilson played his last snap for the New York Jets.
I think that's jumping the gun either.
Yeah,
no, Mike White got cleared.
Yeah, and what was his name that came in for Zach Wilson? Chris Streveler? Dude.
He actually looked pretty decent, especially running the ball. There was one pass, though, when he underthrew the shit out of an open receiver, and I was like, my God.
Yeah, I mean, this has to be one of the worst busts in recent history.
He's the next Mitch Trubisky, in my opinion.
Shoot, I forgot about Mitch Trubisky. Honestly, he'll get a chance. He still has that arm talent. I just think he needs some time to grow. And the Jets are, with a decent quarterback, they're in win-now mode, the way their team is built. So I don't blame the Jets for wanting to move on because it's just not working out with Zach Wilson, unfortunately.
Yeah, it definitely isn't. I think Mike White could actually be more than serviceable for this team. There isn't necessarily a quarterback in this coming year's draft where I would be like, yeah, that would solve all their problems like an elite prospect, because I don't think they're going to get a Bryce Young. I don't necessarily put CJ Stroud in the category of being an elite quarterback. I think that he is very talented with his accuracy and touch passes, but he's definitely got some limitations. And then other than that, Will Levis and stuff, we'll get into the draft stuff. But yeah, I think they're honestly a quarterback away from being a playoff contender.
Yeah. Either that or a new offensive scheme where it's just super, super quarterback friendly. Mike White, when he has played, he looks decent. So, I think technically the Jets are still in playoff contention, but
yeah, they are.
Is that 5 losses in a row for them?
Ooh, that is a good question. I will look that up really quick for you.
I mean, this team is like you said. I agree with you that they're a quarterback away. I mean, they have such weapons, young weapons. I mean, Brees Hall unfortunately got hurt, but when he was healthy, he was playing lights out. Garrett Wilson has been playing lights out. I mean,
Yeah, they're on a 4-game losing streak.
4 games. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what the Jets can do. I don't know. I'm kind of lower on them at this point, but good one for the Jags. You guys are playing your little hearts out. I mean,
Dude, I think the Jags are scary at this point. Honestly, I think they've got their scheme figured out. Their defense looks really good. When their offense is clicking, also, then they're kind of firing on all cylinders. And Trevor Lawrence has really taken that next step forward. I think this year he's definitely having a great sophomore campaign. I think Doug Peterson has done a tremendous job, kind of helping him grow and develop, because he didn't really have that last year. I mean, he had the worst, I would say, NFL coach I've seen other than Peterman or Nathaniel Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett this year has been freaking terrible, and there's a reason he got fired.
R.I.P. Yep.
Yeah, got fired already. But yeah, him and Urban Meyer are terrible coaches. So I think that, with Doug Peterson in there, Trevor Lawrence is really going to flourish. So
Yeah.
happy for him.
No, I mean, we all saw the talent coming out of college. We all knew what he could be. And I think, Coach Peterson is the perfect coach for him to help unlock him. And not only unlock Trevor Lawrence, but Evan Ingram, dude.
Yeah.
He's having a career year. And I don't know if it's just the offense. They just hyper target the tight end, or if he's just getting open. But, I thought this man's career was done. Like, coming into the NFL, he was like a Kyle Pitts, pretty much. Like,
Yeah.
one of the best tight end prospects to come in, and he just was not
Disappointing.
in New York. Yeah, disappointing in New York, but he's definitely had a resurgence, and I'm here for it. And then, like I said, I'm really excited about this team next year because they're getting Calvin Ridley, man. Calvin Ridley, Kirk, Ingram, Zay Jones. I don't know what their contract situations are like, but I mean, I like it a lot. So good for you, Jacksonville. You're moving in the right direction.
Yeah. If they, for whatever reason, lost out, which I don't think is going to happen, they'll definitely be a playoff team next year. All right, let's move on to the next game, Jake. The next game that I have is the Atlanta Falcons and the Baltimore Ravens. Definitely not the most exciting game, in my opinion. It was entertaining at times. I'm just ready for Lamar to be back, man. I'm really ready for Lamar to be back. I want to know if it's going to help this Ravens offense, because Atlanta doesn't necessarily have a great defense, and this offense it's not doing anything for me. I don't see them winning a playoff game with this offense. Their defense still plays well, but
Are you talking Ravens or Falcons?
Ravens. Falcons are done. Falcons are 5-10. They're fucking out.
Scrubs.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Baltimore Ravens defense. I think that it will take the next step forward with Lamar Jackson coming back. But, dude, the most receiving yards anyone had on the Ravens that I can see is Mark Andrews with 45 yards. That's pathetic.
Yeah. I mean, somebody other than a tight end or running back scored for the first time in like 13 weeks for the Ravens. Demarcus Robinson. I've been saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. I think they go, depending on where they go, end up in this draft or in the free agent market, they got to go splash wide receiver, man. They got to, because this team could be, honestly, with Lamar's ability to escape. I mean, we all know, we've seen it. We've been watching this man win MVP, just be an absolute unit out there. But if they get a legit number one, even though, Mark Andrews is still there, I still like Mark Andrews, but, they need someone with speed. They need someone to, get those errand throws that Lamar Jackson does tend to throw sometimes. I think they could be dangerous because they have a dangerous run game. They have a decent defense. The tight end, the quarterback. They just need a legit number one wide receiver. So, if they don't address it, I'm just giving up.
I honestly think Rashad Bateman could be that. He's just been the injury concern has been derailing his early career so far. Because I mean, watching him at Minnesota in college, he was great, and the few games where he's played and has been healthy, he's looked good. And I think that he could possibly be that number one. But injuries has kind of plagued this team the last couple of years, especially last year. I mean, they started off super hot and then injury after injury after injury just derailed their season. So I hope that it doesn't derail it this year, but they have been dealing with a good amount of injuries as well. So either way, a win's a win for the Baltimore Ravens. They stay at, I think, the number 5 seed as of right now because
10-5.
The Bengals are leading that division right now, I believe.
Yep, good win for the Ravens, I suppose. Hopefully you can get Lamar back and be at full power. But what do we got next, Dan?
Next game, I have probably the most disappointing game in my opinion for myself because this is the team that I was the highest on, red hot, and then it kind of came simmering down.
God damn it!
I have the Detroit Lions traveling to Carolina to play the Panthers, and Jake, you guessed this one correctly.
Well, real quick, we both picked the Ravens to win that game. So we both picked the Lions to win this game, but I mean, if you guys go back to last week, I said this Panthers team is a dangerous team, and this would be a game that the Lions lose, and honestly, they got smacked. It was got a little closer in the end, but I think they weren't going full force. I mean, they were up 35-7, I think, at one point. The Panthers smacked them, and this is what I've been going back to about the Lions. I think the Lions defense definitely has holes, although it has been improving. The Panthers are a run first team. They're gonna grind the ball out, 50 runs a game, and that's exactly what they did. And then freaking
they had two running backs over 120 yards.
Yeah, they balled out. They balled out against a, like I said, a bottom tier defense, and they got exposed, unfortunately, because I was rooting for the Lions. But what's his name? DJ Moore stepped up for the first time all season. I think this is probably one of his better games all season. So they, if the Panthers are going to win or even make it to the playoffs.
Did you see that really quick? Sorry to interrupt, but did you see that one Laviska Shenault catch and run? The yards after contact? I
did not.
Bro, you got to look at that run. He didn't get a touchdown, but he was dirty. He was, dude, it was like a Marshawn Lynch type run. He got hit by 5-6 people and just kept running, just kept hurtling, kept stiff arming, taking contact and getting yards after the catch. So, shit, man, I don't think Sam Darnold's going to take them to a Super Bowl or anything, but this team, man, it's kind of weird that after they got rid of Christian McCaffrey, they've been kind of turning it around. I know that that's coincidental, purely coincidental, but maybe there is something a little bit into it where they kind of rely too heavily on Christian McCaffrey. It's like when teams have superstars, maybe they rely too heavily on that one person, and then it's kind of easy to take that one person out of the play. Yeah. So going to the 49ers, you got a bunch of stars, which makes it harder to single someone up.
Yeah, but I mean, kudos to the Panthers, man. I mean, they were both fighting. The Lions needed to win this game badly. And now they're 7-8?
7-8. Luckily for them, a lot of other teams that needed to win lost as well.
Yeah, and lucky for them, they play the Bears and the Packers, I believe, the next couple weeks. So Packers
have been turning it around,
though. Yeah, they freaking Packers. Sorry, guys. But yeah, you look at the stats. I mean, Jared Goff threw for 355 yards, 3 touchdowns, and it really wasn't that close. I mean, all the touchdowns went to, if you picked them up in your fantasy, Shane Zylstra, whoever that is. I'm sure all you Lions fans know exactly who that is. I do not. But I mean, if you just didn't watch this game,
How many yards
And
does
you
it
look-
say Zylstra had?
uh,
Mine says
26.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, five.
Oh, but
five
all the
targets.
touchdown. Got you.
Mhm.
I thought you said all the yards. My bad. Continue.
Nah, we got DJ Chark was the number one receiver with 108.
Yeah.
I mean, and then Amon Ra had a
76.
pretty decent game.
Raymond.
Khalif
56.
Raymond had a decent catch, I would say. So they definitely have weapons. I think they just kind of they started off slow.
The Panthers
They-
defense really stepped up in the first half
Mhm.
for sure.
yeah, the line started off slow, and the Panthers just took advantage of it. And yeah, so now they're in this predicament where they're again fighting for their playoff lives. So hopefully they can sneak a couple wins in. But it was a good game. Other than that,
Yep. All right, let's move on to the next game, Jake. I have the Buffalo Bills traveling to Chicago to play the Bears. And this game was actually really close in the first half. Chicago was actually up, I believe, 10-6. And then it was just Bills from then on out. You know, the Bills turned it on in the second half. But, you know, Justin Fields was looking good. Did he get injured this game? Did Fields get injured?
I mean, it looks like
can't
Nathan
remember.
Peterman was in for 5 plays.
Yeah,
so.
I can't remember if he got injured or not, but either way, you know, the Bears were keeping it competitive. The defense was stepping up. You know, Josh Allen was moving it around, but definitely had a little bit of struggles in the first half. You know, he also did throw 2 interceptions. So not the best game through the air for Josh Allen, but, you know, the defense stepped up in the second half, and then their offense turned it on in the second half when they needed to. You know, mostly it was rushing yards, and then Devin Singletary had a great game. And yeah, that's what I got to say. You know, Bears probably gonna get a top 5 draft pick, so not too much unexpected in this game.
Yep. That's what you get when you have 3 wins, but not much more to take from this. I just hope that they get this man Justin Fields some weapons, or more weapons, or an offensive line. I don't know. I really don't know.
Any of the above.
Yeah. D, all of the above. All right, what do we got next, Dane?
All right, next game we have the New Orleans Saints traveling to Cleveland and beating the Browns 17-10. And this is one of those defensive games that was not very entertaining, in my opinion. Nick Chubb actually had a decent day, 92 yards, but unfortunately it wasn't enough because New Orleans won this game with Andy Dalton only throwing 92 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. A lot of it was on the ground, you know, Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara.
Unfortunately, we both picked the Browns to win this game, so we got this one wrong. Browns really effed us, but I mean, I what do I want to say about the Saints? I feel like they're finally using Taysom Hill like more, like no, you know, not like the 4 or 5 plays a game. Like they're using him like on almost every drive, which is like that's one of your best offensive players. Like you got to throw your offensive players out there. I think he had another touchdown this week.
He did.
He have another touchdown.
Yeah, he had a rushing touchdown.
So I mean, you know, Alvin Kamara finally scored. He looked okay. Yeah, it was just like you said, it was a defensive battle, and the Saints came up on top.
Yeah, I don't have too much.
Game as well.
Yeah, I don't have too much else to add to this. I mean, Cleveland, I think, is all but eliminated if they haven't already been eliminated from playoff contention. New Orleans still fighting for that number 1 seed, or not number 1 seed, but first place in their division because currently the Bucks have it with what, a 7-8 record? Am I right about that? I believe they're 7-8. We can get to it eventually, but yeah, good win for the Saints, especially on the road. Next game, we have the Seattle Seahawks traveling to Arrowhead to play the Chiefs. I say for the most part, this game was pretty lopsided.
Yes.
Seattle only scored 3 points in the first half, nothing through the third quarter, and then scored a, you know, kind of a later fourth quarter drive touchdown. Their defense, I will say, looked better at times, but, you know, the Chiefs kind of carved them up and down. Mahomes didn't have to do too terribly much in this game. He only threw for 224 yards, but 2 touchdowns. But Travis Kelce had a good day, especially with yards, didn't have any touchdowns. They keep utilizing Jerick McKinnon, which I think is hysterical in the receiving game. He had a touchdown. And Kadarius Toney had a touchdown through the air. which was pretty cool. But yeah, the Chiefs defense, Chris Jones had a hell of a game. Yeah, the Seahawks just really died off this year. That's my biggest takeaway. They started off okay, went red hot, and then since like October, early November, they've just been on a losing streak and just kind of pissed the season away, in my opinion.
Yeah, yep. I mean, it was good. I mean, and honestly, I don't know if it's really who's to blame here. I mean, because Geno Smith has been playing okay, even though they've been losing. They still have, top receivers. I just think personally they've been playing better teams than them these last couple of weeks. And not
Walker
that they
looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's coming off the injury nicely, but yeah, I mean, I think the Seahawks will be fine this come next year. But I think that's pretty well. I think they have a slight chance, just as much chance as the Lions, right?
Yeah, I mean, they are both 7-8.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I would much prefer the Lions to sneak in, even though they're probably more of a dangerous team. But yeah, man, good for the Chiefs. Seahawks, can't say I'm too upset about you losing another one. So let's move on to the next game.
All right, this was actually one of my favorite games of the week. We had the New York Giants traveling to Minnesota to play the Vikings. This was a good game. Minnesota, I think, at halftime was about 10-7, so it was a close game. It kind of seemed more like it was going to be a defensive game, which was surprising. And then in the second half is when like a lot of points were scored, especially from Minnesota in the fourth quarter. But yeah, man, this was a good game. Daniel Jones threw for over 330 yards, a touchdown, 1 interception. Saquon Barkley looked good this game. It was good to see him kind of have a good game on the ground again. 84 yards on 14 attempts. Richie James, who the hell? Where did this man come from? 90 yards. Isaiah Hodgins, 89 yards.
49ers.
Yeah, Darius Slayton, 79. So they had 90, 89, and 79 yards. 3 receivers above 70 yards, which is pretty decent. And Saquon also gave them a fighting chance. But, on the Vikings side, Kirk Cousins was pretty damn good. 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Yeah, I went with the upset, and I went with the Giants. Almost had it, but that 61-yarder put a nail in my coffin. But, no, this was a great game. And, the Vikings, I don't know what to think about them, man, because they keep winning.
Keep winning.
They keep winning these close games, and we always say you can't always be a blowout, blah blah blah. But it's like, I think it's just harder to believe in the Vikings when they're barely winning all these games. They their losses are just complete blowouts. So it's difficult to trust the Vikings. But you know what? I'm here for it. There's a lot of players on the Vikings I like, and they're gonna. At this point, they look like they're going to get the number 2 seed, so that's huge for them, especially in a conference with the Eagles and the Niners. So,
isn't this a franchise record for their wins? Also, isn't this the first time they've reached 12 wins?
I don't.
I'm not positive, but I could have swore I heard a stat like that. I mean, if it is good for them, I mean, I know they've had a bunch of 11 win seasons, so. Mm-hmm. Either way, the Vikings, Justin Jefferson, dude, I can't talk enough about this man. One of the best young wide receivers in the NFL. Defense, I definitely think stepped up a little bit this game. They had some big takeaways. I think they forced 2 fumbles, if I'm not mistaken. I think Daniil Hunter and Brian Asamoah, if I'm not mistaken. And I think they also had a interception, Patrick Peterson, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep, he got an interception. And as far as fumble recoveries, I don't have that stat, but I'm gonna take your word for it.
Yeah, I think they had a couple fumble recoveries, but overall, good game. Giants hung in there, so excited to see where they go.
And we haven't even mentioned T.J. Hawkinson had a game. That trade is looking, it's actually looking pretty good for both sides because
it is.
I think the Lions really didn't need him. And then the Vikings are just benefiting from it. So, I like when trades work out for both teams.
I do as well.
No, there was a 61-yarder to win this game. Break my heart, but good job, Vikings. What do we got next, Dane?
Next game, I have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Gillette Stadium to play the Patriots. And this was one of the most weird, peculiar games I've watched because it was literally like one half Cincinnati Bengals, second half New England Patriots. It was like they literally flip-flopped. First half was all Bengals, second half was all Patriots.
Yeah.
And, good that the Bengals were able to hold on and win because, the momentum definitely shifted in the favor of New England in the second half. Joe Burrow had a pretty good day. I mean, only missed 12 throws, threw for 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, did have the 2 interceptions, so that kind of hurt him a little bit. But T. Higgins stepped up, man. T. Higgins had a hell of a day. Joe Mixon got, something going on the ground. Wasn't too explosive, but, averaged 4.1 yards. Jamar Chase stepped up when he needed to. Trenton Irwin, actually, 2 touchdowns.
Where'd this guy come from?
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. But, it was overall good day for the Bengals, except in the second half. And then the Patriots, Mac Jones did his thing. 240 yards, 2 touchdowns. They couldn't really do shit on the ground. I think that's one of the bright sides of the Bengals defense is they shut down the run at a pretty high level. And Ramondre Stevenson had been doing really well at getting over 100 yards a game. So Kendrick Bourne had to step up. And, I think the Patriots are
not good.
They're a below average team, in my opinion. they really are. And yeah.
They're just vanilla. They are a vanilla team. Nothing about them is exciting. They played hard defense, but I don't know. It's not like a Cowboys or 49ers defense where they're just like flying to the ball, causing turnovers, left and right.
I will say Judon and
Judon's
who's the other guy? There's another guy that has over 13 sacks on their defense now. They've been stepping up.
So does this loss seal the deal for the Patriots? Are they out?
No, they are 7-8 as well. There are a bunch of 7-8 teams. So you have the Dolphins, who are 8-7, are currently the 6th seed or the 7th seed because the Chargers are 6th seed, and then you have the Jets, the Patriots, the Steelers are all 7-8.
Right on. Well, it's a close playoff race. Bunch of mediocre teams fighting for their playoff spot. But, not much. Actually, I will say this one last thing before I move on. It's 2 weeks in a row where the Patriots pissed the game away. They drove the ball to the opponent 15, and they fumbled it. And it was just, sealed the deal for them. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I do know. I just don't like them. All right, let's move on to the next game.
All right, Jake, congratulations. You guessed it, baby. The Houston Texans upset the Tennessee Titans. Titans are now on, a 5-game losing streak? Yep. Really rough.
I mean,
it was interesting.
No, this was definitely a fun one to pick right. It was just, if you look at trends, you look how teams are playing, even though the Titans probably should have won. But, they didn't have Ryan Tannehill. They were on the backs of Malik Willis. And then
Who
the
did
Texans
not look very good, by the way. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I wanted to rewind back to Desmond Ridder. He actually looked okay this game. He looked a lot better.
Desmond Ridder?
Yeah, for the Falcons.
Why the fuck are we talking about the Falcons now?
No, because we brought up another rookie quarterback, so I just...
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was like, wait, what? We talked about that game like second overall.
No, yeah, he played a pretty good game. Malik Willis did not. But that Texans team has been flying around to the ball. That was probably their Super Bowl. Probably just, put the nail in the coffin for the... Yeah, nothing to lose. And they're still going to get the first overall pick. So, good for the Texans. Titans, man. This is
they're in trouble as of right now. They're banged up, dealing with injuries. On a 5-game losing streak now. They are also another 7-8 team, so they still have a chance to make playoffs. They could. I mean, the Jags are 7-8 for the lead in the division. So if the Titans win out, they win next week and then they beat the Jags in the last game of the season, they will officially be in the playoffs and they will be hosting whoever the number 5 seed team is. But it seems very unlikely at this point in time that they are going to make that happen because of how they've been performing. You know, they're too banged up. They're dealing with injuries. Their offense looked abysmal. Derrick Henry looked good, but you can't just ride Derrick Henry to playoff victories. So, that's what I got this time.
Again, that's why it kind of goes back to the one-dimensional kind of thing of the Titans. It's just Derrick Henry and then who else? So, yeah, I mean, hopefully they figure that out. You know, and injuries kind of shot this team in the foot, unfortunately. But yeah, good one for the Texans. I always like to predict the wins.
All right,
sorry, guys, I am losing it at this point.
It's okay. All right, guys, let's move on to the next game for Jake's sake. All right, next game, we have the Washington Commanders traveling to Santa Ana to play your boys, the San Francisco 49ers. I'll let you take this one away, Jake.
This was a fun game, man. This was a playoff matchup. Both of these teams are currently in the playoffs. I think this benefited Brock Purdy over anyone on the field. And you know, the Commanders have a good defense. They got Chase Young back. He looks like an absolute animal out there. I don't think he did a whole lot. I mean, I think he got some tackle for losses, but I don't think he got any sacks.
He had I think the biggest thing that I saw from him, he was batting balls down, like left and right. Yeah. He had a couple batted balls down at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he's just a monster, man. I freaking love watching that dude play. But yeah, so Chase Young had 2 tackles and 1 solo tackle. So, you know, first game back, I think it's not going to show up on the box score what he was doing there because he was wreaking havoc. But no, I mean, the 49ers played really good. It was a 7-7 game at half. You know, both the defenses were hitting each other in the mouth. You know, both were trying to establish the run. It wasn't happening. The 49ers got lucky and had a 83-yard jet sweep to Ray McCloud. So that was their only touchdown for the first half. And then, I forget how the Commanders scored, but you know, unfortunately, Brock Purdy did throw a interception, but it wasn't his fault. You know, kind of got juggled around, but he still looks good, man. Like, I'm waiting for him to like I'm trying to say this not negatively because why would I root for this guy to fail? But you know, like, I'm waiting for him to come down a little bit, and he just looks good, man. Like, he looks like he knows what he's doing. Like, I'm not gonna say he's, you know, Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or, you know, but he's got some. The one play where he scrambled back and
then threw it out of bounds, but like made it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good play. That was the best. Dude,
that's some of the shit he does that's just gonna go unsung. You know, it's not gonna show up on the highlight reel, but he looks good, man. Like, he looks like he knows the offense, and that's what I will say about him. You know, over Trey Lance. You know, the short sample size I got Trey Lance, but man, this team looked good. The defense it's inevitable what they're gonna do to you. It just, you know, they held them off for so long, and then they got Taylor Heineke benched. You know, Carson Wentz came in, and then it was kind of just.
Carson Wentz actually looked pretty decent, though. Like, I know it was garbage time, but it's like 12 for 16. It's like just waiting for him to get benched, too, you know. Like, one of the last games, Carson Wentz comes in, takes the starting role back. Because this is like the Washington Commanders, like, biggest thing. They go back and forth between Heineke and whoever else is the other quarterback. Because Heineke has games where he looks pretty good, and then he has games where he plays a legit defense, and then he pisses it away. How many fumbles did he have? Because I know he had an interception, but I'm pretty sure he just kept. It was like turnover after turnover.
Yeah, I mean,
defense.
There was a lot of turnovers on the defense. I think there was like 2 or 3 maybe 2 fumbles and an interception. I just want to say before I let you chime in, crown him. Nick Bosa is the defensive player of the year.
I couldn't agree more.
That solidified it for me. You know, not taking away anything from Micah Parsons or, you know, Judon. Those are the kind of top 3. but this man just ate, and he should have had a third sack. Honestly, I think it's stupid that sacks don't count.
The 2-point conversion.
Yeah, we need to change that rule. That's just stupidity. But he looks great. He's just playing at a different level. He gets held constantly. It doesn't matter. He's gonna get after it, and he's a beast, man. I'm super excited and happy for him.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more about Nick Bosa. Check him for PEs, by the way, if anyone from the commission is listening to this. No, he's doing great. He's an absolute animal. I mean, Nick Bosa is honestly Joey Bosa on steroids. And, it's kind of what I wish Joey was at this point in time. But, Nick is just unbelievable. The entire defense, Fred Warner, just always is the linebacker that you want on your team. And they just look good. And, Hufanga is just an animal out there. It's just crazy to see all these different players that you have on the defense that just step up. And then, I'm blanking on his name. Help me out. Who just came back for you guys on the defensive line again?
Javon Kinlaw.
Yeah, Kinlaw, he came in, did his thing.
Yeah, he actually was the reason they got the goal line stand. The Commanders went for it on 4th down, 4th and 1, on the 1 yard line, and Javon Kinlaw came in, took 2 blockers, and still got the tackle. So, he's a beast.
This entire 49ers defense is just going to do their thing. And, George Kittle on the offensive side of things is hot. Kittle is hot right now. That is a hot Kittle.
Bro, he's got like 500 yards, 4 touchdowns in the last 2 games.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's
George
great.
Kittle is a beast.
Bro, when your 4th option is freaking George Kittle, it's like, what the fuck? So, yeah, I'm excited. It was just a good game. Good
and
Christmas
they were even without Debo, right? Debo wasn't even out there, was he?
Yeah, they've been without Debo since the Dolphins game. So, but he is rumored to be coming back next week against the Raiders. So we'll see. Full power again.
Alrighty. Let's move on. So next game, this was probably the most exciting game of the week, in my opinion. We had the Philadelphia Eagles, led by Gardner Minshew, traveling to Dallas to play the Cowboys. And this game was just a high-powered offensive battle. Both teams just going back and forth, and it was entertaining, man.
Oh, yeah.
This game came down to the wire pretty much. I mean, Philly had a chance to, I think, tie it at the end or take the lead because I think they were down by 6 and they only needed a touchdown and a 1-point conversion.
40-34. The Cowboys won.
Yeah, and I'll say this, for not playing all season and then just kind of coming in to do his thing, Gardner Minshew looked pretty good, man.
Dude, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, I love his mustache. I love what he's got going on. Lives in a van or whatever he did during the offseason, but he came in, stepped up, did his thing. Devontae Smith, man. Devontae Smith looked really good. Some of the catches that Devontae Smith was making was unbelievable. A.J. Brown looked good. Didn't get as much going through the ground this game, but, it's kind of expected. Dallas still has a pretty good run defense. And, on the other side of the ball, Dak Prescott had a pretty damn good day, 347 and 3, 1 interception. CeeDee Lamb stepped up, and I think they really needed that. But, this was just a fun game.
CeeDee Lamb's a monster.
Yeah.
He just looks good. I mean, he kind of disappears a little bit sometimes, but, like, after he disappears, he's just like, you forgot about me. But, yeah, he's a beast. We actually both predicted the Cowboys to win, so that's awesome. Even with Jalen Hurts out, cross your fingers, baby. Maybe they can lose out and the 49ers can win out. And
then take the number 1 seed.
I'll pray for it, but I don't see it happen. But
so they would have the same record if that happens, right? They would have the same record.
Oh, yeah.
So it would come down to
tiebreaker. Yeah, because I think the 49ers have more conference opponents.
Yeah, and I think it also comes down to division, like rankings or whatever the hell it goes by. Yeah. Either way, exciting game.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you wanted to say about this game, Jake?
Nah, it just came down to the wire. It was a good little Christmas present or Christmas Eve's present. I think that was the last game of the day. Oh no, it wasn't.
No, there was.
This should have been
game.
This should have been the primetime game. What are you doing, NFL?
Yeah, I did kind of enjoy this game though, because I think this was the last team I needed for the Chargers to have a chance to make playoffs. Like, no, I needed yes. Yeah. I think this was the last team I needed. Anyway, the Las Vegas Raiders traveled to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. And this game kind of came down to the wire. Las Vegas blew another lead. They've just been good at that. They were up 10-3, and then Pittsburgh scored 10 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. And it was somewhat of a snow game. There was some snow coming down, a little bit sleek, so I always love that. But Derek Carr threw 3 interceptions. My God. Didn't have the best day. Receiving wasn't that great. I know that the wind was kind of a factor in this game, so it was harder. But Kenny Pickett actually looked better than Derek Carr, in my opinion. I think he took care of the ball better. I mean, he did have an interception, but he also threw a touchdown. And Najee Harris got some things going, but I think it was mostly defense. And then I think the elements kind of played a factor in this game as well, which is why it wasn't like the most explosive. But good win for Pittsburgh, keeping their playoff hopes alive as a wild card team, because they are now 7-8 as well, I believe. Yeah.
Yep, they are 7-8, and the Raiders are 6-9. And I think with that, the Raiders are officially eliminated. Yeah, I think they're officially eliminated.
They need
because like everyone above them is 7-8.
There's 2 games left though, so if they won out and the other teams lost out, they could make it.
I swear, I thought I saw something that said they were officially eliminated.
They are not eliminated yet. I just checked. Yeah, so they still have a very small percentage chance of making it to playoffs. But the teams that are eliminated in the AFC are the Cleveland Browns, Colts, Texans, and Broncos. Those are the only teams that are eliminated. So
Colts, gross.
Yeah, so literally every team every team that is in the hunt still is either 7-8 or 6-9.
Well, I would just say this about the Raiders. That one play to Hunter Renfrow was pretty sweet. I like Hunter Renfrow.
I like Hunter Renfrow, man. He's shifty, man. He's got some good route running. But, pissed the game away. Raiders have been doing that a lot this year, so not surprised.
Yep. All right, let's move to Sunday, Christmas Day.
Man.
This first game was probably the best game. Well, no, it definitely was the best game of the Sunday and Monday slate. Goddamn. Yep. Man, the Packers won 26-20, and that's like a 4-game losing streak for the Dolphins. 4 games.
Yeah. Also, unfortunately, Tua probably got another concussion.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't look good in this game. He threw 3 picks. He was. I mean, at the beginning of the game, he was. I don't know. I mean, it's so weird. He looks good, and then he just, the picks don't make him look good. Obviously,
I think his receivers make him look better than he is.
Yeah,
if you're throwing to 2 of the fastest players in the NFL who have good hands, good route running, it's easier to make your quarterback look better.
Bro, that first touchdown by Jalen Waddle.
Yeah,
that's just like unmatched speed.
Exactly. You get it to his hands, and then you also have Tyreek Hill, the other fastest player in the NFL, just side by stride, just walking him into the end zone.
Yeah. And you got Raheem Mostert. He didn't have too good of a game, but he's really fast. But the Packers, man, they did this without some of their superstars. They lost Aaron Jones for the game, and they lost Christian Watson early in the game. So, it's kind of weird. Mercedes Lewis caught his first touchdown, and I don't know how long.
He's back, baby.
Bro, when he came, when I saw 89 come down with a touchdown, I was like, this man still plays?
Dude,
Jeez
for
Louise.
real.
But good for him. And then, I mean, it was just a good win for the Packers. They really desperately needed it. Their playoff hopes are very much alive. Geez, man. And they play the Bears and the Lions.
Yep. So they got to win out. They
Yeah,
have
I mean,
to win out.
yeah. What are the freaking Pack? I just want to see the Packers play real quick. But I mean, good. They play the Vikings. Ooh.
Packers and Vikings.
Yeah, next week. Jeez.
That is a game that the Packers can win because the
Oh, yeah.
Vikings play it close with almost everyone that they play.
Mhm. Yeah, we just
is
need
it
some
in
Rodgers
Minnesota?
magic. No, it's in Green Bay.
Hey, I think I know
Mm.
who I'm going to be picking for that game.
Ooh, are the Packers alive, my guy? Jeez, dude.
Don't let Aaron Rodgers get hot because he'll make it to the playoffs just to lose to the 49ers.
Because it's funny if say the 49ers, say the top 3 seeds stay the same, and then the Packers sneak into playoffs. It's just going to be another Packers 49ers rematch.
Yeah, it'll be embarrassing.
All that,
Dude, could
all
you
that.
imagine they beat you guys?
Could you imagine if
Would you
freaking
jump off a bridge?
Definitely not. I mean, to have their number freaking his entire career. I mean, one game's not gonna freaking make it too sad, but it would be sad because it's a pretty special year this year. But anyways, sorry. Side note, the Packers, keep their playoff hopes alive.
This
Next
defense
game.
stepped up. I want to say really
Yes.
quick. The Packers defense came away with some big plays, so good
They
for
did.
them.
What's his name? Jairi Alexander, dude.
Yeah,
That
Jair
dude's a
Alexander.
monster.
Yeah,
He's a
he had a
monster.
hell of a game. All right.
All right.
Next game, this was unwatchable.
Stupid.
I'm not even going to have much to say, but Denver Broncos lost 14-50 fucking 1.
To the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, to the Los Angeles Rams.
118 yards and 3 touchdowns. Where the fuck was this?
And this is the crazy thing is this is like the 3rd ranked defense, and we've been high on their defense this whole year, even though that's a shitty team. Dude, you got ran all over by the Rams, and this is a Christmas miracle because this was just a blowout, my guy.
Wilson didn't take care of the ball either. He turned it over left and right. Dude, Denver is just bad. And I think a lot of it is going to come down to Nathaniel Hackett. There is a reason this man was fired before his first season as a head coach even ended. They're fired at the end. And that's why Denver, you'll see in our power rankings, if you guys listen to it, they got torched a little bit by me because you just now lost your head coach. Your entire franchise is kind of in disarray, to say the least, especially because there's a lot of controversial player negotiator talks that are about with Russell Wilson. So there's a lot of stuff going on with this team.
Question: How much
What's
can you burn? How much more can you burn ashes? They're already my freaking second worst team. Spoiler alert, guys.
I mean, have you heard that conversation about Russell Wilson's bathrooms in his home compared to how many touchdowns he's thrown this year? Have you heard about this? Dude, he has more bathrooms in his house, I think, still than he has touchdown passes.
I saw the thing where it was Carson Wentz has more touchdown passes, and Carson Wentz hasn't played in the NFL since week 4 or some shit like that.
It's bad. It is bad.
I mean, and the saddest part for all you Bronco fans is
you gave up a lot for this man. Yeah.
Yeah. And you gave up a lot. You're stuck with him for the next 4 years. I mean, unless it's just so bad that you just can't handle it anymore. But then this is the type of stuff that will send your team into the dark ages.
For at least 5 years.
Yeah. Oh man. I honestly don't think anybody saw this coming. Just how bad it could be.
They were Super Bowl favorites by some analysts during preseason. Just looking at this roster, this defense, excuse me, and then Russell Wilson coming in, expecting better quarterback play, and it just has not worked out.
Yeah, man. You think Sierra divorces him?
Dude, she's at least cheating. Zach Wilson's in bed with his wife.
The whole Broncos team just runs a train.
All right, guys,
let's move
back
away
to
from
like ethical conversations about football. Yeah, it was a bad win, or it was a good win for the Rams, bad loss for the Broncos. I don't have much of anything to say about this game either.
Oh, unfortunately, I picked the Broncos to win, so Dane got another one. I think you beat me this week, Dane.
Yeah, but you went. You at least got the Houston one, which was awesome.
That counts for double points.
Yeah, we'll count it as double points. You win because the points don't matter. Anyway, guys, last game of Christmas was a nail biter.
Oh, whose line?
Whose line is it anyway? Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast where the points don't matter.
Welcome to
Except they do.
The points don't matter. All right, guys. Sunday night we had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to Arizona to play the Cardinals. Tom Brady just still doesn't look good, in my opinion.
Nope.
Trace McSorley, didn't he even get injured in this game? I think he got injured near the end. I'm not positive, but Arizona's defense looked pretty good at times. Budda Baker apparently broke his shoulder, so he's done. Didn't matter.
JJ Watt's retiring.
His retirement.
This
is bad. This is bad.
No. There's one good play I think out of the whole game. It was that kind of sideline throw from McSorley to Hollywood Brown. That was a very beautiful play. But other than that, man, honestly, if it's Christmas and you're with your family, you got to have something special on TV to kind of get you away from your family and all the good Christmas stuff. This game just didn't interest me at all until probably overtime. And it was just not good, man. And the shitty thing is the Bucs are going to get a freaking most likely a playoff spot.
And then they're going to be an early exit. Most likely. I mean, anything can happen. Just get them to the dance, baby.
Bro.
See if they can bring something out.
The Bucs play the 49ers, Eagles, and Cowboys, and they just
stomp them out,
turn it on, and they just freaking blow them the fuck out.
Just imagine they're like, oh, we've only been using one page of our playbook the entire season. We wanted to keep everything a secret until the playoffs. Now we're on playbook number 2.
And then Rob Gronkowski just emerges.
Comes back. It's like Ston Monkowski is his name or something like that.
And he had to change his number. It's a 69.
Yeah. Just comes out like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
But yeah, I mean, back to the game, not really much to take away. The Cardinals, just a very, very disappointing season. I would say it's a disappointing season for the Bucs too, but they're actually, luckily for them, in the playoffs, leading the division. I mean, they could go 500, over 500 if they went out.
They could finish this season 9-8.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I just was very disappointed in these Christmas Day games. I almost wanted to watch basketball over them. I love basketball, but football always takes precedence over every other sport. And I was just this close. I was like, can we put a basketball game on?
For real. Yeah, it definitely was not very entertaining. There is a chance that the Arizona Cardinals get Sean Payton next year as a head coach, who has also been talking about bringing on not Vance Joseph. He's already the defensive coordinator. It'll come to me eventually.
I just don't see that happening, man. Sean Payton's coming out of retirement. You really think he's going to go to a rebuilding team?
I don't know, man. It's one of the teams that he's linked to. I would have to. I don't know. There's a possibility. I like Vance Joseph as their defensive coordinator. I think that he could possibly get a head coaching position because he's got at least Arizona's defense playing tough, especially with the talent that they had.
Cardinals signed freaking D'Amico Ryans.
Dude, that'd be gnarly.
Honestly, they have players. I could see that. He probably would have some fun with Isaiah Simmons and shit.
Oh, hell yeah. And then Budda Baker, Zayvon Collins. Fortunately.
That could be or he goes.
And then no, absolutely not.
If he
Denver
comes to the
Broncos, dude, I will hate your team so much.
Dude, my team, he'd be on the Broncos.
Yeah, well, you guys fucking let him go to coach in my division. I would be.
Well, I'm sorry, we
furious.
want our little chicks to fly.
All right, guys, we're getting a little sidetracked. Sorry about that. Last game. Oh, we got a good one.
Real quick, I completely forgot about this game, so that's why I got so sidetracked. But we do have a Monday night, folks.
Yeah, we have a Monday night. We had my boys traveling to Indianapolis to play the Colts. Literally, the only thing that I have to say about this game is the Chargers defense has been stepping up, and I don't even know how much of that was the Chargers and how much of that was just Nick Foles being ass. But Chargers actually did pretty good on defense. Unfortunately, Derwin James probably gave himself a concussion on that monster hit. I do agree that it was a dirty-ish hit. I'm not going to say a dirty. He could have tackled better. He could have not gone as high. I get that. But I loved the physicality. It was good to see one of those hits in the NFL again. Hopefully the players are both healthy. You know, I know that I think the wide receiver on Indianapolis did get a concussion, so hopefully he's okay. Yeah. Hopefully Derwin James is okay, because it could have ended up more serious than it was. I know Derwin was a little bit wobbly after that, but Chargers had like 3 interceptions. I think they had 7 sacks by the end of the game, so they definitely got after Nick Foles, constantly under pressure. Justin Herbert had a couple good throws, but I hate this offensive scheme. Joe Lombardi needs to go. That's basically my takeaway.
I saw this meme. It was like Joe Lombardi's offensive playbook, and it was just all curl routes.
It's so fucking annoying. Like, no wonder Justin Herbert's not having the breakout season that we all expected. Literally, there's no routes that build off of one another or take like the cornerback and the safety out of position in a zone scheme. We know what Gus Bradley's going to run on the Colts. It's zone. He doesn't blitz. It's 4-man rush. Fucking figure it out, Joe.
There's Dan's little rant.
Joe Lombardi needs to go, and this offense will be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, from an outsider looking in at watching the Chargers, you know, I don't follow them super closely like you do, but just when I watch their games, they do look like they should have this like elite offense, and it just has not looked like that this year. I mean, they have Keenan Allen, bro, Mike Williams, Donald Parham.
Yeah, see, but here's the shut up. But you see that one throw to Donald Parham where it got called back? It's like every time Donald Parham catches the ball, that's why he's not as known, man. He's always catching it on a holding call or on a false start, illegal formation, something that just brings the offense back. But Keenan Allen
get better.
Yeah, Keenan Allen needs to get better too, man. Fucking figure your footwork out. That you should have had a touchdown, my guy. Should have had a touchdown. I don't care how much momentum was pushing you towards the fucking end or side.
Oh, yeah, when he stepped, dude, that would have been beautiful.
Yeah.
What's going on with Eckler, man? I feel like he's just not. What's the word? Like, not a focal point in this offense.
He had 2 touchdowns. What are you talking about?
I know, but like he only had a 60 yards rushing.
Well,
I feel like
the thing, like our offense, we're second to last in rushing. We got rid of our running back coordinator or running game coordinator last year. So we've Frank Smith, I think his name was. And so since we haven't had him, our rushing has just taken a downward spiral. I mean, you need a rushing game coordinator to kind of help move that playbook through, but it's been rough. But it's also the fucking play calling.
Yeah.
By Joe Lombardi. I mean, run, pass, pass. Run, pass, pass. Gee, Joe. And then in the red zone, run, 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 run. It's pathetic. Joe Lombardi, I love you because you seem like a great human being, but I hate you because your play calling sucks. That's my rant. Anyway, it was a good win for the Chargers. They have made playoffs for the first time in 4 years. Yeah, so I'll take it. You know, And Joey Bosa is expected to practice this week. So I don't know if he's going to play. I don't really care anymore because we're in. I just want him healthy for playoffs. That's all I care about. Rashawn Slater might be coming back. So if that's the case, then hopefully this offense can also take a boost forward. Maybe we could move Jamari Sawyer to left guard because I got problems with our left guard right now. Matt Filer's been playing like poo-poo.
All right. Thank you for listening to more Chargers talk. Just playing with you, Dan. Congrats on your team winning the playoffs. I know after a while it brings a little tear to your eye because this is the podcast where we coast on others' accomplishments.
That's true.
Oh my goodness!
That's when it's your team's accomplishments.
Oh yeah, you can wear that with pride. But yeah, I mean, I think that's all the games. It was a fun week 16. 2 more weeks, folks. This NFL season flew by.
That it did. Then it's time for the dance. By the dance.
Did you get your invite? Did you get your invite?
You got your invite too.
Oh yeah. All right, close us out, Dane.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on our Instagram, Cannonballs with a Z _podcast. Jake.
Thank you for listening, and as always, peace.